Okay, so Battlefield, but free to play? Yeah, let's get into it. Hey, how's it going? Real quick, before I start the video, if you're looking for more Battlefield content, don't worry, I got you. Make sure to subscribe for more Battlefield videos as we get closer to the release of Battlefield 6. So, I've been seeing this topic pop up here and there across the community, whether that be Battlefield subreddits or other Battlefield forums, and I thought it would make for an interesting video because I haven't seen anyone on YouTube really talk about this, and that's the idea being floated around that the Battlefield franchise should go free to play. And I don't even feel like I have to say anything else before getting right into my opinion on the topic, because hell no, dude. Battlefield should not go free to play, and I'm happy that so far the response that I've seen from the community matches the response that I'm about to give, because if you really want to fuck up the Battlefield franchise hard, this would be a sure way to do it, and here's why. Number 1, content. Honestly, this may be one of the biggest reasons why the Battlefield franchise going free to play would be a horrendous idea. I mean, it's pretty simple. Look at Battlefield 5. The live service model they attempted with this game was absolutely pathetic. I mean, broken promises left and right, delayed patches, delayed maps, and when I'm saying delay, I'm not even talking like a couple days or even a week, right? I'm talking months of delays. The roadmap for this live service content changed like every 2 days. I mean, I am exaggerating a little bit here, but the sad thing is, I'm really not though, and unfortunately, this game is my only reference to how DICE would handle a live service model for a Battlefield game, and now you want to make the game free to play? Look, I'm not very fond of the premium service that we had for a while either, but at least the content came out on time. Yeah, it split the player base, but the content coming out was quality. It was a developed concept, and by that I don't mean just the maps or new guns, but each DLC had a theme, and a good example of this was the Final Stand DLC for Battlefield 4. There was hover tanks, railguns. It felt like the developers cared, and there was like this passion put into the project for each DLC. And if you thought that it was already hard enough to get a goddamn map in Battlefield 5, imagine future games being financed solely by microtransactions. Battlefield 5 was just a glimpse of that idea, and it was horrible, okay? For a Battlefield game to be successful, it needs good funding. That's just a fact, and I just don't see a free-to-play concept being able to finance this game correctly or even long term. Alright, now so for number 2, hackers. And if you've ever played Warzone, then I'll bet you $20 right now that you've ran into at least 10 hackers, okay? Whether you knew it or not. Hacking is a massive problem, not only in Warzone, but in a lot of free-to-play titles and battle royales right now. But man, oh man, is the hacking problem bad in Battlefield 5 right now. And you know what's even worse is their response and handling of the hacker problem. I mean, hackers being reported multiple times and still having their accounts, hackers being reported on live streams in front of thousands of viewers and still having their accounts, okay? Let alone how hard it is in this game to even report a player. It's not intuitive at all. I mean, you have to go into their origin profile and then go through like 4 steps just to report a player for cheating. You get no follow-up or update whatsoever about what happens to the player that you reported, and maybe no one does and they just don't do that, right? But that's kind of the communication I would expect from a AAA title, especially one that you have to pay $60 for. I mean, last night, I was playing a match on Operation Underground, and there's a guy shooting enemies through walls from like 300 meters away. Don't worry, I reported him, but I was literally just watching him do it because he was on my team. Like, everyone in the chat was just kind of making a meme about it because what else are we even supposed to do? The fact that hackers in this game don't even try to hide the fact that they're hacking speaks a lot to how DICE handles hackers right now. These cheaters ain't scared of shit, bro. And with a free-to-play Battlefield game, oh my god, dude. Like, that would honestly be unplayable, okay? No, thank you. Moving on. Number 3, and this point is kind of in the same vein as my first point, but progression. Progression has been really fucked up, honestly, since Hardline, and I can't even shit on Hardline because that progression honestly wasn't even that bad. But Battlefield 5's progression, and even Battlefield 1's progression, and I'm sorry, man, I love that game, but I just have to be honest here. Kind of a sad excuse for a progression system. I feel like people forget how important a progression system is, especially in a first-person shooter. It's what gets people coming back to the game. Progression is, you know, what makes you feel like you're actually accomplishing something when you grind. And there's a balancing act because you don't want to let players progress too fast, but you also don't want it to just be a, you know, fucking ridiculous, boring-ass grind. With every single free-to-play game that I've ever played, the grind is just fucking insane, man. Like, I get why free-to-play games are a grind, but my point is that the formula would be bad for a Battlefield game. Guns would take way too long to unlock, same with attachments for those guns and other various accessories. Forget about unlocking new skins, because I guarantee they would all just be behind a paywall or a loot box system at that point. It would just be, you know, like a nightmare, okay? It's already a nightmare right now for Battlefield. Please, this is just such a bad idea. Like, damn, like, stop. Number 4, and this is going to be my final point for the video. I mean, I could go on and on and on why this is a horrible idea. But this comes from a response that I saw on a Reddit post. So it's credit to my boy Shaman, yo, in the Reddit chat. But his point was that by making the game free to play, you would get a lot of community turnover because it would bring in a lot of players that we don't want here. And while that's kind of brutal, I get his point 100% and I agree with it to a certain degree. My point is kind of similar in the sense that I don't think Battlefield is currently popular enough or accessible enough to support a free to play rollout. The base game modes like, you know, Conquest, Operations, Rush even, you know, the classic big game modes that you think of when you think of Battlefield. In my opinion, the gameplay loop just wouldn't work for a free-to-play game. I mean, you're not gonna have people sticking around. Half the players probably wouldn't even know what's going on because I doubt DICE would even make a good tutorial for the game modes because they've never made a good tutorial for their game modes, right? Most free-to-play games feel like a slot machine, and what I mean by that is you don't really know what you're gonna get, but you kind of have an idea every time, right? Like Battlefield's core gameplay is just so unpredictable, and it takes a while, in my opinion, to kind of grasp the full meta of this game. And I don't know, I just don't see it sustaining a free-to-play service model. Now, before I end the video, there are ways that they could introduce free-to-play elements into the Battlefield franchise, and that would be mainly through like, you know, like a free-to-play standalone battle royale mode. That just makes the most sense to me. I'm actually currently working on a video about this, so I'm not gonna go too in depth here, but yeah, I think that would work. I'm like, again, I'm not 100% against anything that's Battlefield being free. I'm just against a traditional Battlefield game being free to play, if that makes sense, because the funny thing is they've already tried to do this and it failed. Back in 2011, they had a game out called Battlefield Play for Free, and I actually played it a little bit. I was like fucking 11 years old, right? But it really just butchered that feeling of it being a Battlefield game. Like, it kind of just felt like a game made by a developer who was trying to copy Battlefield. I don't know, it just sucked in my opinion. I played it for a little bit and I just absolutely, I hated it. I just couldn't keep playing it. It was pretty trash. I mean, maybe I'll make a video on Battlefield Play for Free sometime in the future. I think that would actually kind of be interesting. Let me know if you'd want to see that. Thank you so much for watching the video. Let me know in the comment section below what you think about this. Would you like to see a free-to-play Battlefield game? I would love to hear from you. Like the video if you enjoyed it, dislike if you hated it, and again, subscribe for more Battlefield videos. My name is SamWentDigital. Have a good one.